we have a slow start this morning, people? Where are you? Feel like a newsreader. Okay. We're coming in slowly. I've only got one. There you are, Bob. Good morning. It's the LLTers hitting the get ready button first. Here we go. First on the register, Alison. Good morning, Alison. Welcome. Yes, it's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Morning, morning. Morning, Wendy. Second in on the movement register today. Well, we don't count Bob and Bex, do we? Nor Dawn, even though she's here. Morning. Morning, people. It's the bright and sunny one today here. What are you up to today then, seeing it's Friday? Something good? Morning from Bremen, Mojana. Well, good morning. Sorry about my pronunciation. Not got my teeth in yet. Yes, Wendy. Well done. First on the register this morning. What are the rest of you doing? I can see that we've got 12 linked up, but it's only the chatty ones that are in first. Look, chattering away with us. A sterile dressing, Bex? What you been up to already? Is it yours? Is it mum's or dad's? We need more info. Ah, right. Dads are a bit troublesome, aren't they? I know if I did a lunchtime one in the kitchen, my dad would probably be peering through the window. What you doing? Morning, Maddie. Feeling good today, people? And Christine in lovely Penzance. Yep, we're getting our first 10 minutes of movement in the bag from this morning session. Morning, Adrienne. And another Christine, but Wales Christine. Hi, Francis. Great to have you guys in. Mrs. P. Yes, we need to call her Mrs. Perry. Who does a lovely Welsh crawl, may I? No, not a crawl. A call, if I may add. Right, let's have a look at time. Right, we've got 1 minute until launch. So hopefully you people are feeling really well today. Had a good night's sleep. Need a bit of uncrumpling to be done, I feel. I've got a little bit of ache going on today from what I did yesterday. So this is going to serve me well this morning as well as you lot as well. Morning to a few more of you. You keep scrolling on up. Hey, there's a song in there. Scrolling on up, scrolling on out. Nothing can stop us. It's that song again, George. Morning, George. Morning, Carol. Morning, Jane. So let's have a look where we're at. Okay, we are on, I've been practicing this. Hang on. 3, 2, 1. My name's Kelsey Leverton from Later Life Training. And today is Friday the 15th of May, and here is your first morning appointment to get you moving. You've now registered to get your first 10 minutes of movement in the benefits bags. And remember, these movements are all linked to the stuff that we do day in, day out. We're aiming to improve the efficiency of the joints that we use in our activities of daily living, the range of movement available at those joints, and also helping to manage any stiffness, reduce any stiffness, and of course find comfort in everyday movements. So we will get started. Last bit, above and beyond everything else that you normally do. There we go. Right, let's have a think about where we'd like to start then for our circulation boosting, warm up starter. So in seated, sitting up tall through your posture. As much as you can, try and make small improvements in lengthening through, relaxing the shoulders down. And if you're not there already, just take a bit of a hip walk forwards. Transferring the weight, bringing your bottom to the front third of the chair. If you're in standing, have a think about where your feet are to start with. I've got my bright pink socks on this morning, just to highlight where my feet are going to be throughout these movements. So, weight evenly stood over your 2 feet, 50-50. Lengthening up through your legs, lengthening up through your spine and through your middle. Try and relax your shoulders down and away from your ears. So you've got a bit of lengthening through the neck there. When we've done that, we've set you up, now we can set you off. If you need some support in standing, remember we can have both hands or one hand onto that support. And let's just get going with some click-inducing foot pumps, foot pedals. So we're getting some movement into the toes here as well as into the ankles. You should feel that crease bend across where your toes are. Still standing up as tall as you can throughout your posture. Have a pause there. Let's have a think of our arm movement. So swings coming from the shoulder just to get some warming up through your shoulder joint. And when we warm up our shoulder joints, it warms up other areas as well. So the blood will be going all around your body, but also this is good for helping improve the warmth through our neck area. So hopefully when we get to our neck movements, head movements, etc., then they will perhaps move a little bit better for us. All right, have a pause wherever you are, standing, seated, that's absolutely fine. Combining, legs first, arms adding in second. So when you're ready, start with your legs. Remember, you can keep with the heel pumps or foot pedals as you see fit. And you can see there a little bit of focus and concentration around what the feet and ankles and toes are up to. Find yourself a steady pace with this. If you're really concentrating on toes, balls of the foot, down through to your heels as you do this stepping action, then you might find that it's a little bit slower whilst you be more deliberate in that movement. If you're ready, holding on or not holding on, bring some arms and leg marches in together. In seated, of course, exactly the same. Whether you want to hold on and focus on legs, bring one arm in or both arms in. There's lots of different combinations there that you can find that suits you. All right, have a little rest there. Take a pause. Have a think about your posture. Your heart rate might be up a fraction, but you shouldn't be huffing and puffing. Should just get you steadily warmed up through those movements. Right, so we're moving on to our top half, our trio of head and shoulders and neck. Thinking about shoulders first then. So arms by the side of you, in standing or in seated, or you can have your hands on your thigh or both hands onto a surface area if you're in standing. Shoulders are lifting up. Off we go with that. So I'll just come a little bit closer here. Lifting up and pressing down. Lifting up. So try and move as far into this lift and as far into this lowering phase as you possibly can. So up towards your ears, to skim your ears, and then really press your shoulder blades down as if you're sliding them all the way down into your pockets at the back. Take a pause there if you've done 3, 4 or 5. Shoulder circles, we're going up, round, back with a little pinch of the shoulder blades together and relaxing down. So you might get a little bit of a click and a clunk as you do this movement. That can be normal as long as it's not painful. If it is causing you a little bit of discomfort, then just make the movement a little bit slower. We're aiming for 3, 4 or 5 of those. I can just hear the family peering through the glass there of the door having a look at me. It's not off-putting at all, is it? Going into neck movements. So we're going to be doing the movement whereby we use our fingertips as a marker or as a guide. And what we're really aiming to do is lengthen up the back of the neck, so lengthening through the muscles, but also mobilising the joints in this area of your spine. Standing or seated, take your pick. A double or triple chin on this one is great. Here we can have our position in standing. 3, 4 or 5 of those should be enough to mobilise but not to tire out the area that we're working. We've got head turns just to finish our trio of at the top. So head turns, if you're in standing, have a think about where your feet are. Have they sneakily moved closer together? Try and have about a hip distance position there. Head turns, over to one side, back to the centre and pause for a second. Then head off in the other direction. Holding on if you like with both hands or one hand. Keep going with that movement, taking a little bit of a pause in the centre. Sometimes head turning can catch our balance a little bit, but if we have that pause in the middle, it just gives us a chance to reset before taking a turn in the other direction. With this one, people, try not to take the body with you. Keep your shoulders facing forwards as you do those head turns. All right, take a little bit of a pause there. Let's go back to a smidge of circulation boosting. So just standing tall, really through that head and neck now should feel much better. Bring in the feet with your leg marches or heel pumps. One arm or both arms, taking up support if you need it. I'll just turn to the side here so you can see. Opposite arm to leg, if that works for you. The point that you're moving is good though, so don't confuse stuff with trying to get your coordination organised. As long as you feel all right, you're moving, then we're good, we're okay. All right, take a small pause there. Heading down to your middle bits then. So when we're doing any twisting or bending actions, this relates to when you're on the floor or even you might be in bed, moving in bed. So to turn over in bed would incorporate some trunk twisting. If you're sat on the floor, say in the garden, you're sat on your side, then you will need some ability to side bend. And that's when you're pushing back up from a lying down position as well. So let's have a look at our twists first of all. So we can stand here. I always like feet a little bit wider on this because I think it helps with keeping our lower body still. See if it works for you. If you need a bit of support, we can go to here. You're reaching the hand across on a little bit of a diagonal. Coming back to the centre with a pause and a posture check. Let's have a P and a P here. Pause and posture. And the same in seated. Although it is much easier, of course, as we're sat on our hips, for our hips to remain still. Whereas in standing, you may just have to think about that a little bit more. If you prefer, you can of course have your hands folded like so. You may have done a trunk twist like this before. Whatever feels good and whatever works for you. Take a pause there then. We're going to head into our sideways bends. The bends, as I was picked up on the other day. We're going to go for the bends. So, standing as tall, as lengthened as you can. Think about all of those areas. So head, shoulders, hips, knees and toes. Yes, knees and toes. Sliding the fingertips down the seam of your trousers. Again, this is a bend, so we are having a pause in the middle before heading off in the other direction. If you'd prefer to be on the chair, then your primary focus should be around your hips, keeping your hips secure in that seat. And we're trying our best not to lean forwards or backwards with this movement. Just try and keep your top half in line with either the chair leg in seated or with your leg in standing. P and P in the middle, posture and a pause. And I think that must be a rough 5, a rough 4 or 5, which should do us. Back extension then. So with the back extension, again, you might find that you're feeling happier with both hands on the support or sat in the chair. It's up to you. Either way, really try and keep your chin down, your neck long and your eyes forward. So I'll just come down here so you can see a little bit better the action. Hands on the side of the hips, either place there depending on how your shoulders are feeling. And we're going to lift up at the chest first. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in your tummy area, and then we're going to try and arch back a little bit. So you're increasing the curve in your lower back as you arch. Like a ski slope, that, isn't it? So standing tall and straight, best you can there, arching the back and recovering. Taking a pause here as well, just to reset your posture and probably your head position as well, because it's quite typical to start looking the eyes towards the ceiling on this particular movement. So try and avoid any change of position of your head. All right, we're at the bottom now. Ankles, feet, toes can get some really good movement out of this next one. Have a think about where you'd want to be. All the way back, I'll just give you a quick whistle tops through these different places that you can be in. If you're here, we can do a heel and a toe, or a toe and a heel. In standing, that can be the same. Or if you're ready to start putting this into a functional movement, you can take a step forwards, heel through to the toe. You can see the back heels lifting up at the back, and then stepping back, changing sides, taking the weight onto the front leg. Your step might be smaller than my step. I can just see myself in the camera there. Let's make it a bit smaller. All right, so there you would be doing alternate legs, of course. If you've done the ones like this, then of course change sides, but stand tall through that standing leg. Shouldn't be a balance challenge, this one. Just getting those ankles, feet and toes on the go. Translating through to any walking. Oh, we didn't say about this one. If ankles, feet and toes aren't good for you, we've got some hip walks that can be done as well. Hip walks, an excellent functional movement here. You might do some hip walkings as you get into bed, or as you get out of bed, or as you hopped yourself up in bed and things like that. So people, that brings us to the end of our movement mission of this morning. Bex has reminded me to say that there'll be a progress check at the lunchtime slot today, 12 noon. Hope to see you all there. And I think that's about all from me. So any questions, post them on. We always welcome any kind of questions from you and to offer you any advice. Keep movement on the map. This is what it's about. If you're heading out to do something and you've got a lot of reaching to do, for example, spend a moment just on preparing the shoulders for whatever movement that you're going to do. Prepare the ankles if you've been sat for a while and you're thinking that you need to get up now. Do some leg marches before you get up, perhaps just to get the circulation boosted before you begin to be active. There you go. That's all from me for this morning. Thanks all. Have a great morning and we'll see you back at lunchtime with Bex. 10 minutes in the bag. Well done. Bye-bye.